All right, great. Thanks. January 3rd, everybody, 2025. I wanted to do a special kind of new year lineup of market outlook and everything we're doing with the software. So get the software. That's where you get it. So anybody watching the recording, anyone here in the webinar, you really need to get with the software. Just start there. Trial 2-week. Send your TradingView username to hpc@sr-analyst.com. All right, that's out of the way. I want to talk big markets. I want to start with stocks and then break it down. We'll get to crypto. You guys have any questions, you can put them in the chat and then we'll circle back to that after I kind of blow through what I want to look at. I definitely want to talk about some big targets. I also want to talk about some short-term realities and how we should be looking at this with a reference point really of what started back in 2022. You guys know I've been saying for a while, generational opportunity. Well, what does that mean? The real generational opportunity was back in 2022 with all the patterns that we saw, all the big tech, S&P, 3,500, now 6,000. And let's talk about also having an idea where this is going. First and foremost, in terms of, I think the next few years, and then we can build it from there. But it's important to know, okay, have a clue where this is going. And so let's start with this big S&P weekly chart. It's still, I love Bitcoin, I love NASDAQ, but you're not going to get a more like a better read on overall markets out of than the S&P 500. So many different sectors, okay, and it's the benchmark. And I'm also going to talk only exclusively in terms of harmonic metrics, how we frame it out. So if you're new, please understand that what we're talking is really a harmonic pattern language here, and then how to interpret corrections, retracements relative to the patterns. And really the fact that in the last couple of years on this weekly chart, we've had some major harmonic developments. We've had, it really kicked off in 2022, about 2 years ago, 26, 27 months ago, with that deep crab at 3,500. And yes, this decade-long or almost 2-decade-long rally since 2010 has had inflections along the way. Every one of them is a buy opportunity. And I don't think that that's going to change. Let's use that to our advantage. Well, how we're going to define key levels are patterns, differentiating type 1, type 2, and important overbought, oversold measures. For example, right now, we're at this massive weekly, if not monthly pattern on the S&P 500. We have confirmation. We are rolling over at the moment. Some of you know that I'm looking for a little bit of a pullback, and I am aggressively bullish. Okay, I've been bullish for 2 years. You guys know that I've kind of been pounding the table. If you go back and look at my live streams, go back 2 years ago, to say that these were once in a decade opportunity. If it's S&P, if it was NASDAQ, Apple, Tesla, Meta, Amazon, Google, okay? I mean, I couldn't have been clearer. And we see the progress. I mean, this is like a 2-year check-in since then of we've gone from this 1618 correction move, okay, to a massive 1618 extension in 2 years. It does matter that and it's a great thing, we have this pattern on the weekly. We've seen it before, and we can project numbers off of those levels as well. Right now, we are in this big 1618 zone. just to be clear, off of the pattern, off of the 2022 correction and all of the associated, that was an interest rate spike, inflation spike, what have you, set up a really fantastic 25-30% pullback within this multi-decade uptrend. Okay, and we should respect that. This is the general, just so you guys know. Okay, my general assumptions. Hold on. Come back here. My general assumption, we are still in a massive bull trend, and that's not going to change. Our goal here is we're going to be patient, defining these kind of short-term oversold instances where to jump back on, like this. Okay, you could go back to 2015, or you could even go to 2020. All right, and this uptrend, even off of the COVID lows, okay, that nothing changes on that. We're still going to ride this, continue it. I could drag it back even further. There in the monthly, you go back to 2010. It's like this. Okay, get the picture. Those railroad tracks are not going to be really veered from. If anything, what I think is going on currently, and just general trend channel, is we're in a new accelerated trend that started with the 2022 low that should take us to a more extreme territory. All right. We'll get pullbacks along the way. That's what we want. But we're now on this kind of trajectory. And let me bring it like this, where we're in that kind of aggressive channel. This channel should continue. All right. And I'm not, I don't, I think this is a minimum, this top end channel going back to 2010. That's your primary channel. What I'm looking for, though, is not really so much a retracement back into this primary channel, but this accelerated channel over the next 3 to 5 years. It's a new level of acceleration that started off that 2020 low, and then you see the deep crab. What's that? That's just a big fat 1618 pattern. And I do expect us to digest on a weekly, monthly level. We've got double dots, everything you want to see. Just put this in mind as well. 60.51 on the SPY. That's our check back point. We have not reached it yet. I do expect us to retest this sooner than later. And then we're going to see if we're going to blow it out now, or if we're going to need a few, several weeks to months of like a sideways pause. We've seen this before. All right, but the larger dynamic is still this. And I do think that, once we get over this, we should be starting to think that this is a 1618 there to 19 at 2.0, depending on what you're really looking at here for the hop level, 6179. But the longer term, what the longer term is doing, it's a classic extreme move, 3618. 3618 is basically 8K on the S&P 500. Now, I know some of you are going to be like, bullshit. That's going to take some retracements. I'm currently, for example, I'm looking for a pullback to 5,700 in the SPY on the daily. I'll get to that. But I want to start like top down big numbers for where we are going. What I'm really saying here, guys, is that this is a 1618 breakout after we get through here. I mean, literally 2 days ago or yesterday was the first day of this secondary dot confirmation. All of that we've been looking for. We didn't get to 6180, but really close, like 6090 on the daily, critical number, 6050, a confirmation number. We're 59.73. So we can bang between here, basically 6,000 to 6,050 retests. All right, where we're still in this zone. And then I do think it's going to be a few more weeks at a minimum before we can make the call. But once we get past the 6180 area, like if we print 6181, quite frankly, then we can start targeting 8K. I'm looking for a pullback. Is it here and now to 56? Or as I've even said before, 54? Wherever that is, okay? And frankly, for me on the monthly, wherever that next weekly or monthly HSI come in, it's going to be probably go time. So monthly HSIs like this, it's like this. Come on. We're down to the 50 level currently. All right. We don't even have on the monthly chart, we don't even have a minimum 50 test, which is something we look for before even considering that as like full confirmation. And I also want to see can we get out of amplified overbought? It's too early to make that call. But whatever the retracement is, it's bring up the daily chart, okay? And we're just simply looking for this. We've got daily patterns, okay, daily deep crab. And I've said this before, like we should expect an early pullback this year. 57.32 is target one off the deep crab. And for the obvious reasons, like we said with crypto, okay, you get the type 1 pullback and then you continue and you rage and you blow out that pattern. I mean, we've had it before. Let me clean this up. Look, last time we had some really dramatic patterns. You go back to the deep crab here, and that was June 23. And we had that type 1 pullback. Not to mention, we printed a really nice, beautiful bat pattern at 41.73. And we've been straight off since then. We should look for the same kind of deal. So I want to be clear, longer term levels look a lot better than the shorter term levels. But once we finish this, wherever this is where a bearish pattern is actually our friend. We come in, we get oversold, and then we start the resumption. I think that could be in the first 6-8 weeks of the year or less. And then we just kind of get that retracement washout. By all metrics, I don't care what you look at, PE, price to GDP, all of that, they are all extremely overbought. All of your metrics, your long-term metrics are extremely overbought. So let's throw those out the window. Because we know that historically the money printer, all of that has been way stretched in unprecedented circumstances. And the COVID money is still coming out. And I've said that where the COVID money that they authorized in 21, 22, even 23, it's still working its way into the system. And it's a lot like when we went back to 2008. 2008, people were looking for a lot of different things. All right, and here you go. Let's just eye it back up. So all that QE money started down here, 09, 010, and it took the better part of the whole decade to get into the market, and then bang, there was the COVID money from 2020. It should be a similar type of situation, and we're seeing it. I mean, we had look, beautiful patterns back in 15, 16. Now a bearish pattern where let it be a pause, because a lot like we had a bearish pattern as well off the low in 08 to 2014. What happened? It was a dud. And we should look at this dud for an example of what we should be analyzing going forward. Okay. And I think there's a lot of similarities. Beautiful pattern, confirmation. We're up at the hop level. What happens? it just is like a sideways cap. Okay, just cap the market for a year, 15 months or so. And in that consolidation, we actually printed this beautiful shark. And it was a perfect type too. One, back up for the two, and then just explodes and continues and doesn't look back. And that's a similar kind of situation,
Interesting.
although I would think this thing should be quicker. Thanks. Let's keep it all. Thanks, guys. Let's keep all that muted. I'm going to keep all of you muted. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Muted.
Hey, Scott, I think you're muted at the moment.
All right, let's start over again. Thank you. Appreciate that. We had a counter bearish zone.
Muted.
Let's try that again. Okay, great. I know what happened. We had a counter bearish zone here, and then let me go back to that. Thank you. Yeah, we got muted. What was that, 26? For about a minute. Thanks. So let me just quick review. So 2014 off the low, beautiful deep crab. It's exactly like right now, guys. It's like this. It's a similar pattern. Yeah, a lot of progress. Almost a triple off the low from 2008. You would think, oh, that's got to be it. But what happened? Printed 1, 2, 3 dots at the hop level, and it was just a sideways consolidation until we got HSI and a bullish dot, counter dot. That's what we're looking for right now. And I don't know if I think this part got cut off too. But again, what's the signal? Because we want to wait for certainly daily, weekly, oversold in this uptrend. And so here's the daily pattern. We're almost there. 5732 is a big number, and I'm still waiting on that. Even though we're up today like 30, I'm still waiting for this type 1. And some of the signals that we talked about, clear. I mean, this is up to you guys. I can help with featuring opportunities, but we're looking for stuff like dots and HSI, bullish within this uptrend. We're currently bearish. I've been talking about this for like 2 weeks. 60.92, come down. Why? Because this is where the return happens. So we get down here. We could get down as low as target 2. I don't expect us to be under 55. If we get under 55, not for very long. And as I started to say on the weekly and monthly charts, the whole plan here, look, there's the monthly crab, double dot, and it's a double HSI. So we should to go sideways at a minimum and then get some kind of counter oversold would be the best thing for us. Just so we know. We're not looking for the crazy move just yet. And at any point above 61.80, that's where we know acceleration, resumption can continue. And as I said earlier, all of this is targeting an extreme 3618 advance once we get above this crab. We fail that crab. 2618, I think that's a likely target for this year. And that gets you to like 6,900-ish, something like that, to 7,000, which is like 314. And so I'm looking for still a strong 15 to 20% return on the year on the SPY at as high as 7,600. The big target, as I started with, would be that this is a 3618 advance, which I think is possible. It might take till like January 2026. But once we clear this 1618, you got to understand, we hit the big 1618 advance. We change the character. We go sideways for a little while. Okay, resolve this. It doesn't necessarily have to be 30 months, but we can put the 30 bar window on top of this. I think it's probably best on a 30-week window, but it's like that. 30 months would get you way into 2026. I don't think that's the case. I think go to weekly. The weekly is here. That initially completed back in, that was July, very end of June. So 30 weeks is done by the end of the month. That makes sense where starting in February, we could see this thing break out in terms of time and price, but we still have this month to deal with. So if we see this thing continue to retrace or at least be capped, don't be surprised. Best thing, again, the best thing for the market to do right now at this moment, come down and get oversold pretty quickly. And we're there. I mean, listen, we look for that 50 break on the top side or to the downside. Back here in September, we had the 50 break. It didn't go huge, but we knew that the market was still moving up into that zone just based on that 50 break. And this 50 break way back in May was enormous. On the same way, but to the downside, we're in a 50 break to the downside. We get oversold. So a lot of things coming together. The best thing for this would be to get nominally to the 50 level and then not go on amplified, get oversold on HSI and turn back up right here to where this is one of the defining elements of why we've been trending so aggressively. It just is still amplified, has been staying in this 50 line. You got to go back to the 2023 of 15 months ago. So these are all important little insights into how to read the software. All right, HSI came down. It broke the 50 in April 24, kissed it, wasn't a full register, but at least showed you that was a little corrective dip. Same back in July. August sent us. August seemed scary, but it was an amazing opportunity for two reasons. It was the end of the initial reaction with a counter HSI against the bearish pattern, and we had this full zone. As you guys, many of you know, I've been looking for that 6180 since that trigger in August. We should look for another one down here. If it's 57 or 55, I don't care. Best thing would be like 56 and register it there. Because then, once that goes into effect, then what we would look for is this thing simply to be another pause, get outside your 30 window, and then it would be right back and beyond. Big stuff. This is all S&P, and I think it's important it's S&P. We see it on the Dow. You see it on the Russell. S&P, though, is the benchmark for the world. And again, my thesis for all of this is that, hold on, we are in the midst of just pausing at a 1618, multi-year 1618 off the 2022 bear market, barely a bear market now. That takes us to a 3618 extreme, 8200 on the SPY. And if you guys give me 15 months to get there, like by the end of the first quarter of S&P 5 for the S&P 500 for 2026, I think that would be enough time. You go to the 314, like there, after this correction, it's like 75, 7600. And that's my target by the end of the year. 7,600 or damn close, or damn close. Puts us like somewhere, it's like another 20% gains. And historically, we bottom the second year of the decade. After the fourth year consolidation type move, 5, 6, 7, 8 year are all historically good. And then, of course, we know the backdrop. Fundamentally, you guys know I've been talking about what the fact that we've got just, lower taxes coming, easier credit, more money printing, that all works to the market's advantage. So give me 12 months and we'll be at 7,500. Again, that could be January 2026, but that's where we're going. That's the underlying target for everything that we're assessing after we resolve this test. And I'm looking for it to fail on a weekly chart. And then the pattern, just so you guys know, any pattern that we look at, okay? A really easy way to just kind of give it the window. How much time do you give it? 30 bars after completion. Again, that puts us to the end of this month. That this massive deep crab, we've seen a couple of moves, but overall, it's kind of a dud. I mean, this is a beautiful deep crab. Couldn't ask for a better structure. Hits the 1618, firm reaction, and we get oversold pretty quickly. This is where bearish patterns help you on both sides. Helps you to read that target. And the dot that we put in, not only we have weekly dot, we have monthly dots too, explain why we're pausing right now. I mean, year-end tax loss selling, profit taking in early beginning of the year, that's fine, but I'm waiting for this to get resolved. Maybe it's 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And then I want to be planning for the eventual violation of that hop level to set off the larger breakout. Because I think, 6,200, 6,181, you can fat finger longs because the rest of the market's going to realize, yeah, this is a full-on breakout. And again, it's being patient. Let me show you this really quick. Again, the bullish pattern that started in 2022 was absolutely sweet. If we're just going to lay over our 30 bar window, pretty easy. There's 30 bars. Just ask yourself, what's the market doing within that 30 bar window? Aggressive type 1, no confirmation, and then we just keep going. And you could easily say, well, what about the type 2? Why did that never materialize? Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. The main clue was that high level oversold reading on the weekly, and it just sent it. And again, if you missed it, or maybe you're here and because I always talk type 2 stuff, how do you know? Well, if you didn't catch it right there, certainly by the time we get back above the 50 level, and this is something we will be doing once we get through this current correction, 50 on amplified, 50 on HSI, sent that thing. There will be concrete areas where we will look for that stuff. But longer term, it's bullish. It's a beautiful S&P chart. Okay, and here even on the monthly, guys, the monthly here. Okay, we don't have anything to worry about. Can we at least test the 50 line? Because what I'm thinking is that if we're in this longer trend continuation for the SPY, we hold these 50 levels. And even for amplified, we're rolling over. Yes, it looks like we're rolling over. We're not out of the zone yet, but if none of them really come out of the 50 zone, like if we don't roll out of here, or we just persist in the overbought, that's strength. And we know that that's going to just be, it's running out of time. We're like on the weekly, we're like 3 more weeks away. And if you go back, excuse me, the last time we saw kind of a persistent 50 level was 19 all the way up through right before the top to 2022. I mean, that was it. That was the COVID low, and you couldn't even get oversold. 2022 was probably the better spot than even the COVID low. You go back, um, I come back to going back to the where the halcyon market of 2009 to 2015, people didn't want to believe it. And any little oversold reading was that it. That was it. Look, the monthly on the SPY, here's another beautiful bearish pattern. And I think it's helpful to review these structures. We're always respecting the patterns, especially on the initial window. But again, 30 bars, guys. What's it doing? We had a dot, we had confirmation, we just truck on through the hop level. In this case, monthly never even gave us an oversold signal. Got close, but not there. It's on the breakout. Excuse me. It's like this. Go from the bar, and you can do this any time frame, projected 30 bars. What's it doing? Did it give you a type 1? No. Did it even come out of the zone? No. And then the breakout, like really after initially hitting the hop for the SPY, and this is back in, the true breakout, like 2200-ish. And again, look where when we dip down here, we're keying off of 50 levels for major trend continuation. That's how we know it really failed. And we'll get it again. We're coming back down, kiss the 50, and let's see what happens here at the 50. Once we hit that 50 level, we'll know that's it. We're going to get a little bit more because if it turns back up, that's the C. That's the signal. That's the signal. We're not there yet. I'm very happy that we have a bearish pattern. Believe me, this pattern will serve us well for the next easily 1 to 3 years because we'll know where it fails. We'll know after a number of bars how much time we should give it. Even on the monthly, we're month 7 or 8 post pattern completion. So let's say this fails by month 10 or month 15. We know that that's it. So in terms of time, again, this is S&P 500. Doesn't get any bigger than that, but in terms of time and price, we know exactly what to be looking for going forward. And we also know that once that fails, we're flat on going for 8K. Okay? Like this. There's our window. Can it go as low as T1? Of course. But we'll get the signals. Right now, pretty clear of how this is lining up, what we should expect, waiting for that signal. What do you guys think? You still with me? Does the ES reflect the market S&P 500? Yeah, it's the same pattern. I mean, look, the futures, the index, the SPY, they're all the same. The index is like this, same proportions, same confirmation, same patterns. Okay, slightly different levels, 6212 for the index. But you guys get the picture here. I mean, like I said when I started today, the first day to consider even this entire pattern, because we had confirmation and we had two. We had this first HSI right here. Amazingly, that first HSI came in. We checked back, but we still needed two bearish candles, 1 and 2. And we had a second HSI. That's why we knew this would still be up here. There's the second bearish candle for December. I would be looking for an immediate retest somewhere here of the open trigger, which is 60.40. Look for that retest. I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing, bounce between like 56 and 60.50-ish as our immediate consolidation range. Okay. But literally, as of yesterday, day one was day one. So this is timely, if not early. And here we're at the 50, coming in on a 50 level test. If it's super strong, we're going to kiss the 50 this month. And then we turn back up after we do so, starting like early February. All right. We've got a lot of situations that they look like retracements right now, and they could be hard and fast and serve it up pretty quickly to where we register some daily, weekly signals where we just don't look back. On the monthly chart, the easiest level to consider is the 3 month. It's a 3 bar range. What's the 3 bar low? That's 56.74. Okay, the whole thing here, we're still up. Even if we come back to 56.74, the monthly is still bullish on S&P 500. Okay, and again, if we're going to get the full blowout, we're still, 2-3 months away. We don't violate this. We stay in this monthly zone. Maybe we come back down and then we continue go back up by the end of the quarter, where we get into like late March. Let's say we just have a little nominal retracement over the next 3 weeks, and that's it. And then we turn around and we start going higher. We'll know. We'll know because this weekly level is so critical. The weekly down here, get to the 50 level. Let's finish it. I would love to see a simple weekly oversold to then mark the low somewhere around 5,700. We don't have to, but it's more of a time thing. It's like give this 2-3 weeks. It links up with the inauguration, all of that, um, and knowing that whatever that signal is when it comes in. Okay, maybe we did the check back. That was also something interesting about yesterday on the index. The low is 58.32. Yesterday's low, 58.29. That is no coincidence. So that's a big deal. We might be seeing a daily dot as early as Monday, and that could be it. I mean, we have to be focusing closely on this. Daily, weekly timeframes are almost done. We get a bullish dot that could then send us in the next 2 or 3 days, and we don't get down to this. We don't get down to, where is it? Where's the daily? On S&P. Hold on, let me go back to the futures. Here it is. Okay, we don't get down to the 57 target, 57.32. And we're really close. Like in terms of time, we're not going to have to wait around. Like by next week, guys, we'll have a gold member session on Monday. And by later next week, we might start to see the early signs. Is that it? And then we're going to push back into the zone, or are we going to actually book a type 1? I would love to see that type 1. All right, really clear. Long-term targets, 7,500, 8,000 on the S&P. After we get through this 2-3 week, and that's it, window. And then now NASDAQ, similar situation. Okay, NASDAQ, massive trend. I mean, just this trend is massive. Yes, there will be a recording. But NASDAQ's like this, guys. And I like this daily chart because I want to show you a few things. One, last year we had not one but two patterns on the daily. Massive continuation. I expect that to continue over the next 1 to 3 years, where when we get daily signals in the lower end of this red zone of this big train track that started 2022 in earnest, They're going to be easy opportunities and massive continuations and probably only type 1 continuations. Okay. 2023, go back here. Actually, the last 2 years, we had 3 massive patterns there. Actually, 4, but I want to go there from the low. There, bullish, bullish, bullish. What about the bearish? What can we take away from that? Let's put it up. Again, bearish patterns are still the friend. They are our friend in this market. So there's a T1. What happens in the T1? And these are the same. This is the same way that I'll line up any pattern. T1, any confirmation? No, it came all the way up there. Also, what about the 30 bar window? 30 bar window against that bearish patterns like this. There's T1. Let's project it to the right. 30 bars later is right there. What's it doing? It doesn't produce any confirmation. Goes right through the hop, puts in a high level HSI bearish. Okay, go into a pause and then get oversold against this bearish pattern, produce another bullish pattern, and there you go. And you continue. Okay, so if you're locked into seeing bearish patterns as like end all be all structures, please don't. There are specific ways that we look at them. We will use them to our advantage. And then how do you know even like, all right, how do I really even know based on the bearish pattern? Like you break that inflection, you're gone. And same kind of a deal. Go to the weekly. Look, here's on the weekly again. It was the same thing on a weekly. There was the initial completion of that shark on the weekly. We pause, we get oversold on the weekly. Counter bullish signal sends us to another level. And again, back up into the hop, hits the hop level. You have bearish confirmation. It's very similar to what we're going through right now. Sideways and then counter move. You guys see that? That's what we're looking for currently. We're looking for this. I would love to see this kind of a situation. All right, look, start it with the initial pattern completion. This is going back to 2023. And we were definitely mindful of that pattern, but there's the 30 bar window. Okay, what do we have? Bullish confirmation in the 30 bar windows, mild reaction. And again, how do you really know that that pattern has truly failed? Go to the inflection above the hop level, sideways here to up. And what do? We produce another counter signal. Also, no bearish. We haven't even put in a bearish confirmation that would say there's any, even a capping, pausing, what have you. This bullish HSI with the dot, perfect. That's how we know. This is how I already know that, you know, we're in the middle. Okay, this shark has failed. And like we said with the SPY, it's like this. You know, general 113-ish has been broken, 127 broken. If we pull up a 1618, that's broken. 1902, we're about to take that out. And I would look at it like this, 1902. That's the last number. Once we take this out and we break out to new highs, post the 2618. We go from this mild price discovery 1618 move to where this becomes more aggressive, accelerated behavior. It's a character change. Okay, it's a character change that, what's that number? It's like 22.2, 22.5. Once we get there, we shoot the gap and we're like, I think 26 is a pretty easy number for this year. I'm more of the opinion, and again, even if it's like 15 or 18 months to do so, I'm looking for like 314 advances from current levels the 2930K on the NASDAQ, give me 15 months. 30, I think it's good just to kind of stick the fork in it at 30K. The 30K is it's a nice fat round target. Do 20% this year, 20% next year, something like that. It's not difficult with what's going to happen and the amount of technological innovation that they're already telling you they're going to do. But from harmonic levels, it's really clear. We're at the top end of that 1618, 1902 range, and we'll pause a little bit more. No confirmation here, but we continue. So 22.5, what have you, is going to be huge as a breakout number. Like if you start here in 22.501, you can fat finger along, meaning it should accelerate beyond that level in the same way we showed a number of these patterns. Here we go. All right, what's that, daily? Yeah, dailies like S&P currently. We're waiting for this thing to get oversold. Current couple 4-hour dots, nice bat pattern right now, right here. So you have structures, and I think even the 4-hour for the NASDAQ is probably that's moving a bit more aggressively. Monitor these 4-hour signals. They've been super reliable. 21,132 currently is low. And let's see how this shapes up. Do we get one more retest, which kind of lines up what the S&P should do? If we could get something like that, and then we continue higher, that could be a launch pad where we've got patterns. We need to retest that crab pattern. So 22.5, 22.643. Those are big numbers. Then we take out that crab pattern. Like we should be bottoming in here, get oversold, and then just absolutely go back and rip by the end of the quarter to take that out. Yeah, we definitely consider the arrow before. Like the confirmation's critical because wherever that happens, either T1 or it's the oversold continuation confirmation. So be aware of that. We don't have anything, today is a little recovery day after yesterday, so be it. We are quite close though. I would really love to see a daily oversold reading. So if we could dump even like next week, we could get 1 or 2 down days and they get a flush out. That's probably it. Probably it. And I'm not too worried about price as much as time. And I think we only have like a 2-3 week window where we're looking for further retracement. And let me just show this to draw your eyes to this. New folks with the software, take the time. Okay, go through the daily, weekly, 4-hour signals. HSI's there. HSI's here. Critical HSI in September. Critical HSI oversold in July. Critical HSI over back in January. If you want to know where the jump on points are, sometimes HSI is all you need. And if the other thing about that is you want that extra bit of confirmation, get above the 50 after the signal there. Okay. Or here, or even better, back in September. I mean, once we got above those 50 lines there and there, they were all quite powerful. And it's going to put you really close to that inflection low. Here, we're still down. Can we finally do that next week and then get above the 50 for the move that launches you into the end of the quarter? I think it simplifies it. It gets you into the ballpark. I mean, even though we have like dot here and you still had some follow through, we weren't down there for much time. And I would look at it like this: we continue to be waiting for those kind of swing retracements like this Go to the 886, some kind of swing multi-month 886, and then target a 1618 advance. That's how it's just going to keep going. That's the stair step. 382 down, whatever, 886 down, 3-month 886 swing, a 6-month 382. Because the longer term is that's what these markets are doing. I really want to spend a day just kind of highlighting major market action and what are the clear signals, the clearest signals. And then within that's a monthly chart, just so it's clear. We've seen it before. Okay, we're doing 314. We're clearing out the 1618. Couple more weeks of clearing out this 1618, 1902 zone. And then we get into the extreme kind of territory. And it's a lot like, you could go COVID, any of these little micro pullbacks. It's, COVID maybe even not as severe, but look, you're getting there to the 1618 like that on COVID. The 1902 is like right there. It's the same kind of rationale. And then once you clear that 1902 zone, you go do like 3618, 314. That was a 314 up to the off the COVID low, it was a 314 advance. That's the segment I'm looking for 2025, early 2026, like this. It's probably better on the weekly. But those are key. It's important to understand that. We are dealing with some bearish patterns. But once we clear out of the zone and we break out above that, we should resume to these larger targets. Yeah, even on the fact that even it's a butterfly here, it's a butterfly on the futures chart. 21,425, big number. But I'll tell you what, simple. Look, nice butterfly. There's T1. Gets a reaction down. This was the pattern I was looking for earlier. We're back into the hop. We take out that inflection high at 22,448. Patterns completely failed. Does that take what? A couple more weeks? Couple more months? Let's watch what happens here. We're at the 50 now. So again, that's why we're consolidating. 21,425. We're currently above it, but goes sideways. And then remember, 30 bar limit is already being challenged. Go back. We got beautiful patterns. That was June. 30 bar limit just coincidentally works out to essentially January, this week, next week. And by the end of the month on both S&P and NASDAQ, we know. Couple more. I'm not going to go into too many stocks. I'm going to show some prime big tech examples. Excuse me. 1 second. Here's Tesla. Tesla's like this, and this is going to be a top play for 2025, 2026. I'm looking for this reaction to get down as low as T1 or oversold. Okay, we're not there yet. We're not even under the 50 level. Amplified's just coming out now. The best thing for this would be come to the 50, hold at the 50, and then resume up. So Tesla's still on the radar. We don't have the major continuation yet, but you guys know what I was saying back in October, September, October. That last retest at 220, that was it. And once we blew off to 280, that was the breakout sign. The move for Tesla, and this is like high conviction. Okay, the Tesla's it's not only a 1618 advance, I think it's more, but I'm going to start with the 1618 here on the monthly. That Tesla's doing this. XABC, D. Okay, 1618, it's a crab pattern, and 600 is the clear target. Okay, clear. That's a high conviction. Give me not even, give me 12 months. Okay. 12 months. Where the Tesla target is 600. So if we're looking at it like that, this is a whatever retracement we can get is a big opportunity. Dailies like this, we are oversold now, and this is big. Okay, this is really big, and I'm glad we're doing the session today. We've got a lot of things that are quite timely. Where a couple weeks from now, we could be looking back at this saying, "Wow, we should have jumped here." Oversold. We're getting an inflection. Yesterday we went oversold. Today we're pivoting out. We could be out of this by Monday, guys, with an HSI arrow to where anything under 400 is something we should be looking at. I'm also watching amplified on the daily. Not there yet, but it's closer. I wish that would have got oversold. Either way, this is how we're gonna base it up. Again, anything under 400, as low as 340, with 600 as the target. 1 second. And you're talking about Tesla, to go and put like $1 trillion of market cap in that move. Under 400 to 600, that would take a lot, but that's $1 trillion of market cap. That's a lot of money to move it, but that's the call. That's the read. Okay. The software patterns that we see, especially, yeah, you got daily, you got weekly. All right. 340 is target one on the weekly. As we've seen with a lot of these, we're just looking for reaction down 3 to 5. 3 to 5. That's always the minimum number of bars we want to look at. But for Tesla, 3 to 5 weeks. This is week 3, maybe 2 more weeks, and then get a signal. And I think what'll happen is that we'll flush this out, and then if you go 30 weeks later, which puts you somewhere to this summer, we're up at 530. We're above 500. The bearish pattern helps you with Tesla. The other one that I really like is Amazon to do the same type of deal. Okay, Amazon weeklies like this. The daily's a better situation. Can we get down to 200, and that would be it. Amazon, same kind of thing. Come down, pay for the wedding, sell some stock, get the new wife all set up, and then 201.91, and then we start the return move back to 250. Meta is an example from 2023, 2024, where it did a similar, it was super aggressive. I don't think Amazon's really done it. Yes, DP. The 30 bar rule is on the basic members page in volume 3, if you want to check that out. But it's pretty simple. And TradingView has the ruler here where just highlight it, and it's good to know. Like, how much time do I give any pattern? 30 bars. I mean, that from here on the daily, okay? 30 bar limit on that daily is somewhere around and right at the end of the month. So again, we're 3 weeks away from all of this where it will show us. If we don't come all the way down, so be it. And we'll know by the end of the month that daily pattern will start to lose its mojo. We're looking for only reaction here, and we're looking for long-term resumption of that trend. Remember this on Amazon, guys. Okay, this bat pattern at $93 on the monthly chart. This is so significant. Even you could say, oh well, it's already up 150% off the low, almost 300% off the low. 81 was the low, almost to 240. Doesn't matter. Okay, you missed that opportunity, but we can still use the fact this is a massive clear pattern where, the two minimum patterns are, look, 382 and 618, right? That's the standardized pattern levels for T1s. What does it do? It blows all the way through, gives you a double dot. It pauses for 2 or 3 months and then continues higher. That's the kind of failure we want to look for across the board. But how much higher? Put the harmonic spread on there. Go 1618. Okay, 1618 off that pattern puts you up at that hop level on the daily, puts you like 260. 260 is the target for Amazon for this year. 1618, maybe a 1902 overshoot, somewhere 260 to 290. I would say higher, 290, definitely. And within this trend, I mean, that's a high conviction read on the framework coming into play. And then for the decade, like the next 1 to 3 years, let's throw up a 2618 because that's the type of extreme breakout behavior we're looking for, and we've seen it previously. The last kind of correction, again, Amazon killing it, long term up. Use the corrections the same way. There, 2018, where's the 1618? Blows right through. 1902 blows right through. What's the top here? Well, there's 2618, 165, 314. Did you get there? Did you get there? Did you get there? Oh, yeah, you got there right to the 314 like that. Just notice how from 1618 to the 2618 character changed. That's what I'm expecting for these kind of markets, where it's not only a higher target, it's more aggressive. It's a more aggressive character of this whole move. And then you get above 1618 to 2618 or above 1902, get above the 1618. We should get from 1618, 1902 to 2618 or higher pretty quickly. That's why I'm bullish 25, 2026, because a lot of the markets are entering. It's not just like, hey, I think the market's going up because Trump's getting in. I'm saying, hey, these markets have really rallied off of major patterns, weekly, monthlies like that. They're taking out minimum 1618 price discovery moves. And then once you get above that 1618, yeah, maybe we bounce around here for a couple months once we get up here. But once we clear that, the character takes a whole different objective, a different tone, and we can run for these. And notice how here we are in the monthly, guys, with Amazon. Hit the 50 on the monthly, and we're trending back up into that overbought. A lot of things can happen in that area, much like it did. You go back to 2023, February, that was strong, aggressive. Keep buying it. Not to mention amplified, monthly, expanding, much like it did back here. I'm looking for this kind of behavior or even this kind of behavior where we're persistent in the overbought and look at the price action. Yes, you're overbought, but this is where aggressiveness and acceleration really takes shape. Like I wouldn't even worry about it until we were fully out of the zone or even under the 50, and we didn't even do that till 2022. That was really the only concern I had. And look at amplified, or sorry, HSI was the first time back. It was 2020, right around pre-COVID. 2021, we broke the 50 line. Even before COVID was announced, Amazon was flashing us signs. What is flashing now is a strong 50 level test. That's how to read it. I'm applying the same kind of metrics, HSI analysis, amplified, and then put the ratios on. Do we have patterns preceding this? Because that definitely matters. And for Amazon, that monthly was massive. And I'd say, like, we can go through all of these. Apple, Nvidia, they're all super strong. Here's Apple on the monthly. Okay, top end of the channel right now, but you're checking back. You would need two red candles, maybe this month and next month, before you could even say that that is bearish. And then the bullish, you know, since 2022, that was the signal. And Apple, I don't think anything changes. Like, these long-term trends and the amount of money getting pumped into the global economy doesn't change. We'll have inflections along the way, but these are all important reads. Apple's got a couple, but I wouldn't expect anything more than a pause within these trend channels. I expect these trend channels to continue. And look, again, go back to 2022. This was a perfect type 1, type 2 bat on Apple. Weekly, 1, and then 2, and goodbye. And even on the daily, remember daily? It was like Tesla and Apple. Remember this bat pattern? What was that, 170? Every time you get those in the lower end of the channel on the weeklies, they're going to be massive consolidation continuation opportunities that keep moving. So you apply that to your favorite stocks, crypto, what have you. But the patterns are there, the signals are there. Even just simply waiting for daily oversolds like that and that and that and that. A lot of people ask me, like, okay, where's the next buy opportunity for something like this? How do I know? Well, here we are, deep oversold first week of the year. Okay. This Apple could give us a signal, I would think, next week, and it would be a major continuation signal. I mean, the high was, what was that, almost 260. So can we get down here 2 or 3 more days for Apple and come out of the zone and start it again, much like we had back in November, much like we had back in July? Okay. This is why the software is so effective. Your job is to line yourself up with these signals. Line yourself up with that and that. Don't chase them. Stop chasing. If you've been chasing, welcome to some discipline. Okay. Because Apple, 1 and 2 and 3 signals, even a fourth back here somewhat. Every, I don't know, every 6 months at a minimum, we're getting clear continuation, and we're now oversold again. And we're going to get another one. So you want to buy Apple for the long-term portfolio? Start looking next week. Yeah, Microsoft too. What's up, Nasser? Yep, it's like that. Take a look. Pull up HSI. Where are we? We're oversold. We had a bad pattern. Okay, 446. That's why we got capped. But that's almost over. T2 was printed yesterday. That's beautiful. Not to mention, look, we're oversold coming out. Where does the real acceleration begin? We'll get out of here and get above the 50, just like we did back here. What was that? That was November, late November, and then even October. Generate your oversold and then get to the 50. You want to play some options, get it to the 50 level here. And it especially helps with amplified running in tandem. I do think we're close. Like this retracement that started, it was midway through December. It's almost over. And we're about to get another set of big continuation signals. So you're going to be able to buy Microsoft on a discount, on a retracement, with some really nice oversold readings. Like, look, dot here. We're about to get another dot off of that and a secondary arrow, much like that dot. Microsoft looks great, man. Thank you. No, I don't want to do with a quantum computer. Let's save that for Monday. I know those quantum computing stocks are running. I want to give you guys the bigger feel of what we should be thinking, projecting out 2 to 3 weeks into the rest of the year. That we're going to get an early signal early in the year that's going to set it up, and we should see it go. I mean, look, Trump's coming in. Okay, they're going to put all kinds of proposals, cut rates, cut taxes. All of that's uber bullish for the market. And now right ahead of that, we're getting the clearest of signals that are telling us that's about it. We see it in the Nasdaq, see it in the S&P, we see it in Amazon, Tesla, Microsoft. All of them are in the process literally today into next week of giving us the daily type of signals that come once every 2 or 3 months, like a dot back in August, another dot here that was November. So what's that? 1, 2, 3 months. Here's another signal about to come in 3 months later. 3 months down, play the swing. You could go dot to dot. I mean, look, you were selling. If you were buying Microsoft at 408 and you get another dot signal, hop level 446, that's how to swing trade these things. If you just want to buy and hold for the longer term, yeah, buying Microsoft down here 420, 419-ish. We get that signal next week. We're in business. We get above the 50 a week later, start to expect acceleration. These are sweet setups, guys. They're sweet. And a lot of them, this is a timely webinar. All right, before I take questions, let's talk crypto and Bitcoin. We have the same kind of a thing. Look, there's the crab pattern. Okay, and I'm glad we started with S&P and we started with NASDAQ to review how those patterns fail. Ever since this bearish crab pattern from last month, we said, let's line up the 30-bar window. There you go, 30 bars later, which was December 11th. So what happens? We go higher. It breaks out above that 103 level. Fantastic. Now, what we had this little mild retracement. Fantastic. And now we have a dot that came in right at the beginning of the year. Doesn't matter. It's just coincidental that was Jan 1. But there you go. Clear dot. 3 days later, we're much higher. Where do we go? Well, we're going to try to take out that high at 107 now. Why? Well, look at the daily. Look what happened yesterday. We cleared the 50 line. These are big signals. Block out everything. Just read the chart. Read what HSI is telling you. Read what Amplified is telling you. Okay, read what the pattern's showing you. Yes, we had a pattern. It went sideways. That's a typical failure sign. It's like a dud reaction. We hit the target 90K. We go up to the hop sideways. And now we're back in the zone. 96 is still support. 96. And I still say 115 is the overspill move immediately. 115's like this. It's the big weekly. 1025. Everybody knows 1025. Oh, you all know 1025. And how long I've been saying 1025, like there. Depending on the feed. Coinbase, it's like 103. Doesn't matter. 1025. This is our immediate consideration to 1902. That's the overspill zone for Bitcoin. That's like 119. Some other feeds, it's like 115. But that's where we're going now. We get through that daily. We go now. And then what happens for the Bitcoin cycle? I know I've said this, so this isn't new for a lot of you, but we're looking for minimum 2618, just so you know the numbers. So we go 115, 119, then we go 158 to 215, 210, 212-ish. I think it's like 210, 215. That's the 3618 advance. That's the target for this cycle. All right. And we're looking right now. We're just going to focus on this daily. And literally in the last 48 hours, we have triggered it. We've triggered the counter signal. We've seen that saw that on NASDAQ. We saw that on a lot of other patterns. NASDAQ, we've got the dot. You got everything you want to see except for price to fulfill what it's telling you. And so 107, 108 now. We get it. We're above the 50. We continue. That's how we get there. Against all of the ubiquitous Trump backdrop. Those are the major markets. Yes, there's tons of other opportunities, but you can apply them all in the same way. All right, just be clear. Bitcoin, crypto, for me, it just started to trigger that. I think even checking, what I think is going to happen here on the weekly with Bitcoin is we're going to have to retest that weekly HSI that's 110. And we do kind of another extended segment where we get a high level dot. Like we go there, from 50 to 100, and then we do another segment like that and get like 150-ish, 160-ish. But at a minimum, that first stop is going to be like 115, 120, and we should see a dot like here or here or here. We check it back, we put in a dot, we go sideways, and we go again. Sideways, go again. Sideways, go again. So in the short term, HSI reacted. We're going to retest it. Again, I'm just laying out how the sequence of the software should be showing you where to go. We're 115, 119. We're 98K right now. With the ultimate target is a 3618. I think that's by May, June-ish. If we get to 3618, we're looking for profits. 215, 220 on principle. That's where we go. Those are the major markets. All right, I'll take let's go like 10 minutes of some requests. You guys want to look at AMD, AMD and the semis. Okay, AMD here, 124. It's all about the daily on AMD. It's this. We have patterns down here. We have a bat pattern. Again, I'm glad I reviewed those big patterns and a lot of those larger markets. Okay, within their uptrend, AMD looks like garbage, right? It's done nothing. It's almost a 50% correction. But just think patterns, okay? And think about it this way. We got real nice patterns here. In the same way that pattern back at around, what was that, 87, marked a continuation with the uptrend. This bat should do it too. So I don't really think this thing, like where we are right now, 127 XA, we're under that. I think we're looking for this thing to start to turn around on the daily. Look, we're at the 50 level. That's the other key for all of these. Like they're going to be demonstrative. HSI, if it's not flashing a clear signal above the 50, okay, you're probably going to have to go through more consolidation. Get that above the 50, get AMD, the amplified RSI for AMD above 50, then you can expect this thing to really start to move off these lows. I like it. I mean, look, you're one more day. You checked back yesterday, one green day, one more green day, and you have a yellow dot. And look where the last bullish dot was. Well, it was there. That was a dud. It was up for a day and then failed. I'm thinking it more like down here because you have a sizable retracement. Keep an eye on that. I mean, there aren't too many of these where it doesn't work. And probably better even on the weekly, because the weekly is like this. Here you go. get weekly above the 50 to return it. It's not there yet. So AMD's more probably like 1 or 2 more weeks, but the daily's real close. Daily could trigger on Monday. I'm looking next week for a lot of this stuff to terminate. Yeah, one more green day. Yep. All right, Justin wants to look at some quantum. I'll quickly, just like Rigetti and some of these quantum stocks. RGTI 18 expanding. That continues higher. I can't really. The only way I would look at that is like an hourly or 4-hour. Any hourly oversold? Anything on the hourly? Like you're demanding. Yeah, you're oversold on the hourly for Rigetti. And I would wait for things like that to materialize. Look, this is just in the last 2 weeks. 1 and 2 and 3 and a fourth HSI, and we're oversold HSI currently. Let that come out. If you want to play in that area, I think, I don't know. I mean, Tesla, Amazon, guys, those kind of stocks are just, they're so prime, and they're not, maybe they don't do 300%, but do they do 50%? Yeah. Here's QuantumScape, another great example. Look, went from 4 to 6 all the way back down with a beautiful bat pattern. Trigger off of stuff like that. I'm not against following stuff like that, but wait for your setups. Let it come to you. Don't chase. There's no reason to chase. And if you miss it, so be it. Let it go. Let it go. Yeah, look, here's QuantumScape. Beautiful. It's clear. Software is kicking it out. 520 is the level. We've had a few of these tests. 481 hop was sweet. So you want to chase those concept stocks? No problem. Just line them up. Couple more. Jasmine. All right, I'm going to be all over the place. I'm going to look at Ocean. And then Verizon for snipes. Sure. I'll take them in order. Muhammad wants to look at ICP. ICP is like this. $12. It's a shark. What's the 4-hour look like? Oh man, that was 15, right? Oof. Almost a perfect type 2 on the daily. If that was, I would say it's gone. But not yet. Just wait. Wait for this. Green arrow, HSI dot trigger was 1018. You're currently up here, what, 1220? You know how important 948 is. And we've seen, look, that was 15, and it still managed to lose over 30% of its value in 2 weeks. You need to train yourself to wait for these retracements. Right now, I wouldn't jump on it. Line it up. It looks great. Looks like it wants to do some moves. And also, with all these crypto guys, okay, they all did. That was the one thing we said we were waiting for. We had bearish patterns across the board. Wait for the dots at the targets. They all went to T2s. So maybe 950. And today's a big up move. But there's still plenty of these dots that have yet to move on a lot of crypto. Not there yet. A couple more. What's up? Ponyboy wants to look at YFI. Ponyboy. It's a great song. I met Dickie Betts one time. Great guy. Like, great guy. He wrote the song Ponyboy. Look it up. YFI. Another dot. No bearish pattern, but a couple double dots around 8K. I like it. What's the 4? Anything on the 4-hour? I wish we had a pattern here. Oh, we do. Okay. 8,000's your number, man. I'm pretty firm on that, where you get back up to T2 at like 11K. That's nice. You've got dots. You got dots on daily. You got dots on the 4 hour. I would love to be retesting some patterns. I mean, this is kind of retesting the 5-0. It's a little ugly, but double dot down here. That's critical. That's something we've been waiting on all of these. Like I'll show you, like XRP. This is really this dot that we got on XRP. I really wanted to add. I didn't. I still have a chunk. I still have a big chunk of this in XLM. But are we going to break out? Because if we break out on XRP, this is where it should go. Keep that on your register for sure. A couple more. Vince wants to look at Alien Base. I have no idea what that is. Alien Base. I don't know, man. That's, it's a wrapped ether kind of a thing. Alien Base, maybe. I don't do the exchanges, the converts, and it's got to be get on MEXC. I think MEXC is probably where you can get some of the low flyers. But yeah, you got yellow dot here. You have a yellow dot, and this is the first corrective move, and you were 55 down to 20. Okay, just don't over allocate, or even better, if you want to take a shot on that, load in. But I'll tell you what, look at HSI. Here you go. This is what we want to see. You're above the 50, and look how we're holding the 50 breaking out. That's big. I do like it. I can't buy that because I don't have access to it. But look, HSI is going to pop up here. That's a big formation. The only other piece I want to see is amplified get above the 50, and that should send it. So that's pretty good. Justin wants to look at AIOZ and a few others. AIOZ is another one, big move for us. We were on that like 37. Oh, my man, look at that daily chart, 77. That's a massive continuation. We didn't get confirmation there, but I still like it because of T2. And look at what it's doing at that 50 level. These are the kind of continuation levels and setups you should see where they're up at a high level and they're not going to come back. Look, the last one at 37 was you couldn't ask for a better opportunity. And that's where we had featured it. We had 3 patterns down there. Remember that? Big Gartley, small Gartley, small bat, T2, T2, explode, retrace 40%, and let's get ready to go again. Those are good. Celestia, I really like that, and I'm going to probably start a larger position on Celestia now. I do like Celestia. He's bringing up Tia. Double dots, retesting the shark. A type 1 on the butterfly, guys. You're 543. We scraped down as low as like 450. This will not spend much time down here. And I expect it to be back to $9 pretty quickly. Yeah, look, there's beautiful. You're at the 50. Yesterday was a full-on breakout. That's what I mean by like HSI being demonstrative. And then bang, same here with the amplified reading. Go above the 50 and go. Ocean, I know I was looking at that this morning, man. And I think this is the best opportunity for Ocean in maybe a year. Okay, look, or above the 50. We went shark to 5-0, or what was that? It was crab. Deep crab reaction. We had a dot 2 days ago, maybe 4 days ago, but we had the retest 2 days ago. That was at 55, now 64. I expect that thing to shoot for 90 cents really soon. The AI stocks are in position. We talked about that last time. Okay, and you should be targeting this target 107, 106. That's beautiful. That's like FET AI. FET was another one. The AIs, they came in real nice, guys. And so they haven't even mooned. There's FET, and that number was like 127, now 150. You go back to 250 pretty quickly. And FET's got, look, had massive patterns. That was the Gartley we featured last year we were there at 20 cents. Rode that to 2, although it went to 330. You know the story. Back down for another pattern. It like resets the whole deal. That's good. A couple more. Jasmy. Okay. Jasmy's another low floater, but I like it because it did, look, it had the thing, it had the big move, and then it had a massive pullback, and it's ready to go again. Type 2 pattern. That was 2 cents. We talked about that. And now here you go again, like 3.5. And if you recall, like there's the weekly. You got a whole lot of recovery range to consider. All-time 382 is still 14 cents. That's the target. Yep. Did Ocean for Phil. Verizon for Snipes. If you want to play the sleepy stock, this is a good one. Sleepy. Yeah. Shark to 5.0 at 36.78. And you're going to get a fat dividend yield. The monthly is down here. It was a shark to 5.0 on the monthly. I like these. Like stuff like that. I do like it for longer term plays. You're 40, maybe it's like 37 or 30. Yeah, 37.82, 36 maybe. But you're looking at that to set up for the next return move where Verizon does big things. I do think I do like it. And isn't it, it's like a 6% yield? You cannot go wrong with that. Couple more. QDell Ortho. Nice. Who said that? Crypto Lawyer. I like that. There you go. It's a monthly at 51, currently 45. Weekly just got oversold. Yeah, there you go. The only thing I'm going to say with this is don't expect this. It's going to take a while. But nice. Thank you. Great recommendation. 50 level, it's breaking out of the 50 on Amplified and HSI. That usually precedes price. It's a beauty. Kind of reminds me of CXAI, which we are currently long. And CXAI is a monthly, sorry, it's a daily, it's a big pattern. There you go. Just coming off a massive pattern. So some of these AI stocks too, these are low floaters. They're speculative, but I like what's going on there. Couple more. Cardano for Vince. Yeah, starting to run. I think Cardano is still a 270. It's 270 is the all-time target. Where are we? Oh, nice. 108. Dot came in about, what was that, a week ago? 10 days ago? And there was the trigger right there at 88. That's also the all-time 382 at 92 cents. Little tough to chase it today, but that's exactly the kind of example. Don't chase it, but look, apply this setup to everything you're looking at. Wait for the dot, wait for the green line to go on, and know that you're oversold at that higher level. It looks good. I mean, that looks good. I do like it. What's up, DJ? Wern? WERN? I don't know that one. Werner Enterprises. There's a dot. That's on a daily. Beautiful bat pattern. Oh, what's wrong with that? It's only time. Back-to-back patterns all over the place. I like it. Only time. But get to 38. Okay, today you're above the 50. This is your little trick, okay? This is the strategy where you know, okay, I want to optimize my entry. Where should I go in? Break above the 50 like that. You know, initial test. This is even better. I expect that thing to continue next week. And then tell me about amplified. That's coming up, double low, higher low, get above the 50 level, and that could really start to open up. Minimum 38, but maybe go back to 42. It's just time. You're in there. Are you there at the right spot? Okay. Are you ready to trade the market when it's ready to be traded? By definition, T1, dollar sign, check back. All of that's at 35.93. As of about 4 days ago, that was really the first time it was ready to be traded. But that's a good one. We did that. AC wants to look at flux. We're bouncing around here. I'll take a couple more and then we're going to wrap up. Flux. Dot 10 days ago on the return move. 67. Get back to 78 or 87. I like that. And look, again, tell me about HSI on daily or weekly. These are big deals above the 50. Crack 50, turn up, continue. You get acceleration. Also, what's different from this than a week ago? We are above 50 on amplified. Those are the signs. Yeah, now we should get acceleration. The next, I don't know, 10 days, 30 bars. But there, you're in business there as of really yesterday. Really yesterday was the trigger. Today's the follow through. Nice. Vic wants to look at CVS. What a dog. No offense. Finally start. It's big pattern. I know it's a massive pattern on CVS. It's like this. Where is it? It's a weekly on CVS. Maybe that was Walgreens. I think Walgreens was the pattern. Daily oversold. I don't have no patterns on this. This is Walgreens, WGN. No, WAG. The other form, they got killed. No, WAL. WAL. Let's get that right. No. Walgreens, WBA. Walgreens Boots Alliance. Look at this. This is the other, this is deeply oversold. Okay, it's a crazy, look at this. It's a bat pattern, failed 30, but then went to the hop trying to put in another HSI on the monthly. I'm looking at that. Got to get above the 50 though. And that's actually, I think, better than CVS, frankly. They destroyed Walgreens. My sister-in-law worked there for 20 years. They destroyed it. Couple more. Sure. One more for Cryptux. Joe USD. I don't know that one. Joe versus the dollar. I don't really have anything here. Yeah, you got, well, okay, the daily's got some patterns. I never heard of that, Joe versus USD, but I like it. Look, what do you just describe the situation to yourself? Is there a dot? Yes. Is there confirmation? Yes. This pattern did a T1 and a T2, so by definition 37 cents should be it. The dot started yesterday. And it is a T1 against the bullish pattern, so 63 was hit. Would have been great. If we would have come back to 32, my goodness, that would have been a perfect type 2. But still okay. And then are we above the 50? Yes, you sure are. Today's day 1. Really day 1 and amplified above the 50. So I like that. What's up, Adam? Wants to look at GMT, USD. I think I saw this was pretty nice. Steppin'. I don't know what that is, but yeah, look. Perfect 1 and 2. But there's your dot. So that also checked back yesterday and turning back up. around 15, 16 cents. That should get back to 22 pretty quickly. I like it. Oh yeah, you've got some big patterns looking left too on this one. I did. You had around 16 cents. That shark pattern's relevant. Amazing. It went to the hop at 9 and bottomed, and that was it. But I like that. I do like it. Yep. Muhammad wants to look at Peanut, and Peanut was slaughtered again, killed again. But that's right. Peanut will come back to life. We were looking at Peanut around 95 cents based off this 4-hour pattern, a couple of sharks down here, and it failed. That's it. It failed. It failed the type 2, a rare one, but you're back here. If I were you in that position, look for this thing to break out and maybe add more. It's crypto. It's okay. But if it's going to turn, that's it. And it did a big reset. Yeah, this was a big 886 reset thing. MEXC might be a good one. There you go. I still like it. I'm okay. This is the main stuff, so don't over allocate, and you can expect this to be irrational. The guys, the one that I'm still really super long that I didn't sell any of is SHX, and this is looking like it's ready to go. Price discovery here. Couldn't even, it did a retracement, but couldn't even get under a buck. SHX on MEXC. That's related to XLM and XRP. Hey, Jessica wants to look at GCT like this. GCT USD or just GCT? GigaCloud. Oh, we looked at that, right? And I like it. I really like it. Yesterday was day one. Look at this. Guys, this is beautiful. It's a perfect T2. Look at that Gartley. Nice job, Jessica. That's really fantastic right there. Gartley did the one. I'm okay with that. It fell. It was so close. It was close enough. All right. There's the dot that came in. What was that? Friday? That was Tuesday last week. And then bang, yesterday, day one. I'm good. You're under the XA level. So anywhere between like 1760 and 1962, start nibbling. Remember, buy in chunks, sell in lumps. Buy in chunks. So start a small position. Like 10% of what you're going to do, start it today. It comes back to 18 or 17, add a little more. I like it. And look, you're above the 50 level, screaming. That's a beauty. Nice one. Couple more. What do I think of one? Harmony One. I added more to Harmony One recently. I want to add a lot more. I've got a sizable position now. Down here, it was like 250. I really need to see this thing break out, but I kind of like what's going on here. Look, there's the 50 level on HSI turning back up. Also holding firm, going back up. I like Harmony One. I do. I think recovery ranges, all-time 382 stuff. It's an American crypto. My goal is what do I have here? Oh, guys, do I have 1 million of this? It's like, I think it's like 20. I've got like 20K into this. I have close to 1 million of this. And I'm looking for a 382 move to 15 cents. I have a lot. SHX, I have like 2.5, 3 million of those. So sizable for crap crypto. That's a nice chunk. I do. And I'll tell you when I sell it, but I'm holding for that. Couple more. LPSN live person. I saw that popped. Yeah, you guys have been talking about that. LPSN's like this. 183. That's a low floater, but I'm okay. Throw 1,000 into that. Get 1,000 and try to look for type 1 kind of a thing. But don't Don't be surprised if we screw around for months between $1, $2, $3. I think that could work. I mean, hell, I might even get a little of that because of the 50 breakout there. I mean, 1,000 shares and just set it, forget it. It's like a CXAI. Sandbox, yes, sir. You know, again, it's another one. It's like Phantom and Gala. Sandbox is a massive pattern, guys. So you're 63 cents. You're playing for target one, 345. So break it down on the daily. We generated some oversolds. I'm okay on looking at that. Just know this will draw down 30 to 50% against you no matter what. So go in chunks. Don't allocate all at once. IIV. What's up, Joan? IIV. That IIV USD. IIV USD. No, I don't have that. Or is that LLV? ILV. ILV. Thank you. ILV. ILV USD, right? Nice. 42 bucks. Some dots. The only thing I don't like about it is you're scraping the lows, but okay. Is this a new position? Yeah, the 4 hour looks okay. That looks okay. I'm okay with that. I think there's better stuff, though. You got it. MAGA. MAGA USD. Wasn't there something there? Yeah, there's some patterns, 4 hour stuff. If you want, again, I think that's an allocation deal. MAGA USD. Yeah, I mean, maybe. Don't over allocate. You're okay. You're at like 7 millionths of a penny. That's fine. Bit Digital, BTBT. I'll tell you, I like Mara better. BTBT is okay here. It's rebounding. Nice Gartley on the daily. So bang. Today's day one. Okay, this is what we want to see. Thank you very much for that. That looks good. But I like Mara better. And I do think these guys are, their time is now. Mara, beautiful bat pattern at 17. So I'm good with this. Yeah, the beautiful pattern. In fact, Mara is going to give us a dot on the next green candle. So your 1940, geez, 17 was great. This is 22 to 25 real quick, guys, maybe 26. I like Mara. Mara's buying Bitcoin. I think their time is almost ready to run. How much more can they put the miners off, right? I think the miners are they're in a great spot where they haven't run, but they're ready to go. Is there any technical reason that T1 combination with a dollar doesn't trigger even though the price hits the level? The only thing I can say about that is maybe number of bars. Like we do have a default where if the target isn't hit within, I think it's 100 bars or maybe 300 bars, it doesn't register. But if you see it and it registers, just be mindful of it. I'll look into those. Justin wants to look at Clean Spark. Okay. Buy. Clean Spark. This was the one we were waiting on, right? We were talking about Clean Spark at 14. Thank you, Justin. I should buy 1,000 immediately. Love it. Love it. Great one, man. Thank you for mentioning. This is going to check back here and one more green bar and we're in business. I think it's already there. Clean Spark, go. That'll be a 3 ideas tonight. What's up, Vince? Say any thoughts on my exit strategy? Sell quarter of spot, February, March, April. Sell in May, walk away. Yeah, something like that. Look, if Bitcoin gets to the 3618 and that's April or May, we're done. We're just looking for Bitcoin. It's a Bitcoin cycle, guys. Let Bitcoin tell us where it's going to go. Nice, man. Yeah, I like that. Okay, Shim wants to look at XEL, USD. What's this? Excelis? I don't know what that is. It's a type 1. Looks pretty brand new. 660. Now 630. You need to see this thing get above. Look, there's HSI on XEL. If your favorite crypto looks like this, don't be surprised for that to go lower and take more time. We need to be up here. Get above here. Go through your favorite stocks, guys, your favorite markets, crypto, stocks, whatever. Look for all the commonalities I laid out. And again, utilizing the major markets, these big mega tech, they will continue to produce pattern signals. All right. They will continue to give us the signals we want to see. All right, 2 more and I'm done. H bar, did that register the oversold? Almost. I think that goes higher. We're not going to get a dot. You got to go 4 hour. Yeah, there's the 4 hour was like 26, 27. That's super strong. Look, I think H bar will find its way to recovery highs like 886s type stuff. It's big. Vegas, your last one. NVO, Novartis. NVO. Norvo, Nordisk. Monthly oversold, big time. Down at 90. I thought there were some patterns there. Dot today, so okay, day 1. At the hop, beautiful bat pattern. There you go. Talk to me tomorrow. Talk to me tomorrow when we crack above the 50. The dot goes on today. It's not official until the 4 o'clock close. So next week. Nice one, but it's not ready. Look, let the signal happen and then start looking. We get in there too early, you're going to get creamed. Killed. Okay. Am I going to do the prop firm? I don't know what I'm going to do. You know what? So here's the deal. I'm a former registered investment advisor, but I could take 7 private customers and manage money without regulation. I'm thinking about doing that, but I would put a mandatory minimum of probably at least $250,000 to $500,000 to even do that, to even consider it. And I would think it would almost be, it's probably not even worth it for me to only do it if it was like more like $1 million to manage money again and hold hands. And I would probably do really stiff fees. I'm thinking about it. I've been approached, but I would have to set the minimum at probably like $500,000. So I don't mean to scare anything off. And again, everything that I'm really doing here is to support the software, put the right tools and education in your hands to do what I'm doing in this session. I can show you guys the signals and the kind of the dynamics of patterns, and then you follow along. Like, I'm bullish on this market at the right prices, but for sure, obviously Trump, and we had a favorable election, but now we have signals, guys. I mean, we have really concrete signals of things that are about to go, like S&P here. S&P, a couple more days. We can get some of these, if we can get some of these signals to come in, we can get down to target ones here, or we can generate some oversold stuff. You guys can do this. Well, it doesn't matter. You got 5, 10, 100K. Doesn't matter. But for me to manage money, for a person, it would have to be like, I got to set some big minimums. I really think it would be $1 million minimum. I have a guy that's got a few $1 million that wants to do it right away, and I just told him I'd wait. But that's legally, that's the only way I can do it is a private client kind of power of attorney. Clean Spark, Justin, definitely. I'm gonna go buy that as soon as I get off. I like that. Uber and Lyft, they look good. You sure they do? Uber, Lyft, and we got lots of patterns. So the thing would be get in on the Monday sessions, guys. There's Uber. I really like it. There's others, Square and a bunch of these others. These are the years that these are going to start to really go. Airbnb is the other one, right? Big patterns that right at the low came back for almost a perfect T2 there. That would have been insane. The low was 127, 125 for Airbnb should set it off. But get ready. A lot of them are ready to go. Amazon, Tesla, those are the big ones I want to get on with options once they finish. And then, I think it's going to give us just an absolute beautiful, ideal setup. What about where the HSI is triggered? Both amp and HSI are above 50, but no dot. I say go. If you got both amplified and HSI and you don't have a dot, that's okay. You don't need a dot, although it's preferred. Bring it up in Monday's session. We'll have a session Monday, Gold Circle session Monday. If anybody's in here, you want to get with the Gold membership, DM me on Discord, okay, or sign up. And we still have the code up there for Black Friday. Yep. I'll remove that probably next week, but you guys know how I am. You want to get with the Gold, send me an email, harmonictrader@gmail. All right. Hope this has been helpful. Great strategy session. Great crew. Thank you. Appreciate you guys. Anybody who's in here now, not with the software, you have to email me and get with the software, or you're just wasting your time, and especially those that are listening. All right, lunchtime. I'll be back in the Discord a little bit later, and everyone else, I'll post this recording in the Discord. You have any questions, you know where to get me, Harmonic Trader at Gmail or DM on the Discord. Yep. And as always, go get them, get ready. It's beautiful. 2025 is here. Fantastic.